And we are live on Facebook. Good afternoon, everybody. Andy here within South Florida. I am at the offices of Mr. Mario Quintero, and we are ready for his first edition of the One Stop Shop Happy Hour. And I gotta tell you, Mario, that was a great name that you came up with. The One Stop Shop Happy Hour.
Thank you.
How are you this fine Thursday afternoon?
Doing wonderful as ever. Very grateful.
Awesome, awesome. Folks, we're here in the privacy of his office in our mini production studio, and we're doing a dual broadcast here. We're broadcasting on my page for in South Florida, and Mario's also broadcasting on his page. He's already getting a lot more comments than I am, so you guys are slacking. So we are good. We are good. If you're watching this broadcast, be sure to like Mario's page. We're going to share this over there anyway, so we're going to be cross-promoting this stuff everywhere. Everywhere. He wants to be everywhere. So Mario, we're embarking on this live streaming journey, man, and I see you got yourself equipment and you got the microphones. When you do something, you do it 100%, don't you?
We go full blast. If we're going to do something, we're going to do it right and do it to the best of our abilities.
I always say, go big or go home. You know? You know?
Or don't bother.
Or don't bother. So I came in today. He has his props, his microphone. He is ready to roll. So we have a very interesting show today. This is going to be the first of many. And we're going to tap into Mario's expertise here and his wealth of knowledge, and we basically want everybody in the South Florida community that has a need for his services, which are real estate or mortgage related, anybody and everybody, to basically just go ahead and tap into the experience and the mind of Quintero. I like that, the mind of Quintero. I like that.
I just want to say hello to everybody that's coming
absolutely.
But it's on inside, so I can't read them. So if you're saying hello or making a comment, hopefully next week we'll get this portion right on mine.
No problem, folks. I want to say hello as well to everybody who's watching here. I don't have that many viewers as you do. Well, yes, we do. There are a couple of thumbs up. Folks, we're not in competition here for the likes and everything. We're just having a good time and producing these broadcasts. So for this show, Mario wants to talk about something very important to our South Florida community, and that is what happens, the timelines after a bankruptcy, short sales, or foreclosure in order to become a homeowner again, you know. Eloise, welcome to the broadcast. Share this with your network, girl. Let the world know. Let's be social. Mario, happy hour, one-stop shop happy hour, part 1.
There you go.
So talk to us. Talk to us about bankruptcy, short sales, or foreclosures.
So this is an important topic because a lot of people are out there renting homes or renting townhouses that went through the unfortunate situation from 2008 to 2012, let's say, and they either went through a bankruptcy, a foreclosure, or a short sale. And they don't realize that maybe X amount of years later, they now qualify to purchase a home again, even though they went through one of those very disappointing times in their lives because of whatever reason, whether job loss or maybe they were given improper suggestions by a friend or family member, or maybe their lender gave them wrong information and got them involved in a modification that went sour, and the next thing you know, they're getting a foreclosure notice. So there are timelines specific to different loans, which I'd like to discuss today individually so that consumers will be educated and possibly look into buying a home again.
I want to mention, folks, that if you're watching this live, you are welcome to ask questions and comment on the chat below. Mario will be answering questions live during these one-stop shop happy hour sessions, and that is one of the beauties and advantages of doing this live stream technology, that you, our viewer, anywhere in South Florida or around the world for that fact, can actually tap into the mind of Quintero. I like that. I think we're gonna use it again. The mind of Quintero, and get valuable information on real estate transactions and mortgage transactions. And if this affects any of you, where you're facing or you have faced a bankruptcy, a short sale, or foreclosure, you know, Mario can help you live here on camera. which is fantastic. So Mario, what are the different timelines for each of these types of occurrences? Because we talked about a lot of things: bankruptcy, short sales, and foreclosure. Are they all the same?
No, they're all different, and they all vary depending on whether you're going to get a new conventional loan, an FHA loan, a VA loan, or a jumbo loan. So each one has different timelines.
Okay, and it's important to deal with obviously somebody that is aware of that.
Well, when people contact us to take a look at buying a new home again and getting into the home ownership market, these are things that we discuss, and the timelines are usually based on either the dismissal date of a bankruptcy, or it's based on the date that was recorded for the action on their credit report. So the timeline starts there as the official date, and we move on from there. So usually when we're going to pre-qualify someone and we run their credit, it usually comes out on the credit report as to the date that it was recorded.
So that one-stop solution for all is not the case. You need somebody detailed that knows and has experience with each of those type of occurrences to be able to advise a new or potential new homeowner in the proper pattern that he has to follow.
Well, in buying a new home, the first thing, the most important thing is to get pre-qualified. You need to know if you qualify and
Right.
for how much,
Right.
and what kind of down payment program you're going to be qualified for. So before we even start looking for a home, we have to go through that process. We call it the financial assessment process, and it's like going into surgery. You know, the surgeon doesn't know what he's going to find until he opens up the wound. So in our case, we want to open up the entire financial history in order to be able to properly give the right advice.
Mario, some people that may be looking at this, may be saying, wait a minute, I thought he was into real estate only and he only dealt with real estate matters. In reality, the reason that you're the one-stop shop is because...
Well, we're the one-stop shop because we can handle every facet of the transaction. We start off with the pre-qualification process in all the different type of loans that are available in the marketplace, and then once we complete the financial assessment and we know what type of loan we're going to be able to qualify the borrower for and for how much and with what down payment, then we go out and search for the home that this family or individual will qualify for.
And that's the reason why this series is going to be called the One-Stop Shop, because not all real estate agents are the same and not all mortgage brokers are the same. And really, why deal with two individual people? Why not just build that personal relationship with somebody like Mario Quintero that basically can take you from A to Z and get you qualified and get you into your home? Mario, we talked about a couple of different loans, but let's focus on the 2 or 3 most common loans. What can you tell me about conventional, FHA, and VA?
So a conventional loan, currently as of January 2018, a conventional loan will go as high as $453,000 as a standard conventional loan. There's a high value conventional loan that will go up to $679,000.
Okay.
FHA loans go up to a maximum of $345,000, and VA loans, standard VA loans, go up to $453,000. And what a lot of people don't know is that VA loans can go above $453,000 into the jumbo range on a case-by-case basis.
Excellent information. Excellent information. I want to take a minute and welcome our guests. Welcome Katie. Welcome Michael Miller from Community Newspapers in the house. And welcome to everybody else that has popped into the broadcast that I haven't noticed you. Thank you for the love. If you're watching us live, share this. If you know of anybody that is looking to get into a home or property, they need mortgage, they need a financing, share this through Messenger right now so that they get the info and they can tap into the Quintero mind. I like that a lot. He's loving this too. So, Michael, thanks for tuning in, buddy. Michael, you should share this in the page for Community Newspapers. Share it now. Let's get the love out there. So, can people actually buy a home even after they had a bankruptcy? I mean, I know that this is a real hassle for families. It's a real question. It's a real stress factor. You have people, you have couples, business owners that have gone through a bankruptcy. Is it all over for those individuals?
No, and I'm going to pull out some of my notes because there's a lot of detail, and I'm going to give you the basic facts of the timelines. But
Listen up, folks. Pay attention.
so you have three different types of bankruptcies: Chapter 7, Chapter 13, and a Chapter 11. Okay? If you were in a bankruptcy and you want to do a conventional loan for your next purchase, then you got to wait 4 years from the date of dismissal. If you want to apply for a jumbo loan, which is above the 453,000 and above the 679,000, up to $6 million, let's say, you got to wait 7 years after that dismissal date of the bankruptcy. If you want to do an FHA loan or a VA loan, you have to wait a shorter amount of time. And in both of these loans, the FHA and the VA loan, you may only have to wait as little as 1 year, but no more than 2 years. So imagine if you really want to get into the market because you have been able to save some money while you're renting, and maybe you didn't make payments for 2 years because the bank instructed you not to make payments, and you have that money saved up, you may qualify for an FHA loan 1 year after the date on your credit report.
I bet you a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people, because the old tradition is you file bankruptcy and you're for 7 years you're like out of the market completely.
That's correct. So the FHA and VA loans can get you back into a home after 1 to 2 years versus waiting 4 years.
Good info. Just share this program with our Facebook family. Michael Miller, our friend at Community Newspapers.
Hey, Michael.
You rock, Michael. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people weren't aware of that. I mean, I was definitely not aware of that. That is what happens when you come and visit the One Stop Shop Happy Hour with Mario Quintero. You get to tap into all this free information that can help your friends, your family, maybe somebody you know. This is a great time to share this broadcast via Facebook Messenger. That person that you know that's renting, that has been wanting to buy, maybe doesn't know, hasn't had time to ask questions about bankruptcy and their credit. Mario Quintero can definitely take care of them. Mario, do you charge for consultations or advice?
No, we do not charge for consultations or advice. In fact, we only get paid if we sell a home based on the commission structure of selling or buying the home, and we only get paid from the mortgage side after we close the mortgage. So there's a lot of times we invest a lot of money with clients to help them achieve their goal, and that's one of the reasons we've been in this building for 16 years.
16 years, folks, helping families get into their homes and making dreams realities. Folks, if you just joined us, my name is Andy with Inside Florida, and we're here with Mario Quintero. I got Michael Miller in my mind. With Mario Quintero, he's there smiling now. With Mario Quintero from the One Stop Shop, and we're talking about real estate. We're talking about bankruptcy, short sales, and transactions, and what you can do to help get yourself into a home if you're renting. You know, Mario, years ago, the economy was not the best. The economy has been improving, but years ago, I know personally, and I've heard stories about many families losing their jobs and losing their homes. And that can cause shockwaves through families and really put a real stress and a burden on families. Can you help those individuals?
I sure can, and we've already helped a lot of them that went through that situation, like I said earlier, from 208 to 212. A lot of these families, from what we have heard that we have dealt with, were given a lot of erroneous information. Okay, they went to see somebody, or they spoke to the servicer of their mortgage, and they were told that they were promised in many cases to qualify for a modification.
I heard that in the news.
And
yeah.
You know, sometimes they even heard it from somebody at a coffee stand, like La Garreta, you
La
know?
Garreta.
Or their neighbor while they were walking their dog. Hey, you know, stop making your payments. Get a loan modification. Going to be just fine.
Everybody has a friend.
Everybody has, you know, everybody has a piece of information, but a lot
Right.
of times what we found was that information was not correct. So a lot of these families took those pieces of advice and they went into the modification process, and the first thing that the lender told them was stop making your mortgage payment. Well, guess what happens when you stop making your payment? Your credit score goes down the tubes. So now that modification process may have lasted 6 months, 9 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and their credit score goes down into the 300s. Okay? And at the end of the process, the lender says, you don't qualify, and we're going to start foreclosure process because you weren't paying your mortgage.
Right.
Very disappointing, very stressful, not only to the parents, but also to the children in that household. Imagine the thought of losing your home. And a lot of people lost their homes because of misinformation. And in some cases, the decision was not the right one. So you find yourself getting a foreclosure notice, and then, you know, they were spending money on a monthly basis to whoever was advising them. I saw numbers of as little as $300 a month to $1,000 a month just to keep them in their homes. And then eventually they lost all that money and they lost the home.
You know, Mario, one of the beauties of doing these live stream sessions is that we get to interact with members of our community. And we have a question here for one of our viewers. Mr. Michael Miller from Community News says, lots of young people have big student loans. How does that factor into getting a first-time mortgage?
That's a great question, Michael. So a couple of years ago, the government changed the way they calculate the monthly obligation of student loans. So when we do a qualification for a young couple, we have to take into consideration that monthly obligation, which is a percentage of the total amount of that student loan. A lot of times they will qualify. Sometimes they don't qualify because they've taken on other monthly obligations like a high payment car lease, a luxury car lease, and that really hurts them more than the minimum that's due on that college loan.
Right.
Loan. So if they are financially responsible and they keep their monthly obligations low and they don't go for that real high-end expensive car lease, then in most cases they will qualify because of the adjustment that the government made a couple of years ago.
So there is hope, and students can definitely become homeowners, even
Yes.
though that they have loans.
And like we talked about last week, we've helped dozens of young adults, ages 22 to 35, through the mortgage and finding a home process, and they're happy homeowners today.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I want to take a moment and welcome everybody that has joined us. I see people coming in and out of the broadcast. Thank you, folks. Just a little reset here. My name is Andy with In South Florida, live in South Florida, and we are here with Mario Quintero, the one-stop shop for your real estate and mortgage needs. And you're witnessing and you're watching the first of many live streams that we're going to discuss basically every step and every characteristic and every procedure that will enable somebody to get into their first home, or maybe sell a property, or maybe upgrade your home. Mario has a wealth of knowledge and information, been in the industry since the industry started, seems like.
No. 2002.
2002. Is that an eternity in South Florida for real estate or mortgage, or what? Come on now. He's a little modest. But absolutely, I am very impressed whenever I talk to him about these matters, and we're putting together content for the show, and I get blown away because he has the knowledge. So, Mario, these are very important topics. I know that we're scheduled to do these shows weekly. Can you give our audience a little teaser or a little idea
Of what's coming up?
of what's coming next? I mean, you know.
Well, one of the things I'd like to talk about next week is interest rates.
Very important.
I'd like to talk about interest rates because a lot of people have a misconception that as interest rates rise, that it's going to be a problem. And I'll get deeper into it next week. I will tell you that my first home that Claudia and I purchased in 1983 with 20% down and very good credit, our interest rate was 16.25%.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So
That's unheard of.
when I hear people complain about 5%, 30-year conventional loans, I educate them, and I usually take out the chart and I show them a history of interest rates here in the United States.
Wow, fantastic. Before we close, let's give our viewers a phone number that they can reach you at. You've given them a lot of great information.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the foreclosure. And
Foreclosure?
the short sales.
Let's
The
do it.
timelines.
Let's
The
do
timelines.
it. Let's do it. This is the beauty of live.
You ready?
I'm ready. Are you guys
right.
ready? Pay attention and share this broadcast.
So, for those of you who've had the unfortunate situation of a foreclosure, if you had a foreclosure and it was due also because of whatever reason, if you want to go into a conventional loan or a jumbo loan, you got to wait 7 years from the occurrence. Okay? If on a foreclosure, if you want to get back in with an FHA loan, you got to wait 3 years. And on a VA loan, you got to wait 2 years from the occurrence. So those are the timelines for foreclosure. On short sales, if you had a short sale and you got an approved short sale and it shows up on your credit report with the specific date that that short sale was reported by the bank, and sometimes the banks took a little bit additional time from the date that you signed the document. So you may have signed them in June, but they didn't report it till October.
Got it.
October is the date that we look at. So on a conventional loan, you would have to wait 4 years to apply for a conventional loan. On a jumbo loan, you would have to wait 7 years if you had a short sale. On an FHA loan, 3 years, and on a VA loan, 2 years. So hopefully these timings have helped somebody out there that maybe has been thinking about home ownership again, but maybe had the fear of even asking the question.
Of course.
Don't be afraid. You're not alone. And millions of people went through these things, during the real estate crisis. So if you want home ownership, feel free to give us a call, 305-598-1600. We'll be more than happy to sit down with you and do a full financial assessment at no cost.
Consultation is free. The advice is free and valuable. I mean, there's nothing to lose and everything to gain. Why would somebody need to pay rent and empty money into a property that is not theirs? I mean, when there may be options for you, there are solutions. It's not the end of the world if you faced a bankruptcy or foreclosure or short sale. There is help available.
There is. And if you like the information that you heard here today, please share it with your friends.
Absolutely. We're counting on you guys, the South Florida community, to share this. Maybe somebody that that needs this type of advice and this type of help. Mario Quintero is ready to be able to get that individual or yourself into their dream home.
Thanks a lot for your time today.
Awesome, fantastic, folks. If you love this, share it, leave comments below. Mario will get back to you. And thank you for the love.
And we'll see him next week around 4
Next
o'clock.
week. So have we done this already? We've scheduled this on
We're
Thursdays
scheduled
at 4?
on Thursdays at 4.
Mark your calendar, folks. Every Thursday at 4 p.m. It's the one-stop shop happy hour from Mario Quintero, the Quintero Mind, coming to you live. Thank you, Aaron. Coming to you live on Facebook and some other channels that we might announce later on.
We will.
He doesn't know yet, but we're going to have him everywhere. Everywhere in South Florida. Everybody's been talking about the one-stop shop. All right, I can talk forever, but we're going to cut this out. Mario, thanks, my friend.
Thank you.
Awesome job. Fantastic. Folks, thank you, Aaron. Thank you to everybody that came on the broadcast. Those that I didn't see, I'm sorry. Thank you. And see you all next week. Talk to you soon.
How do you shut this off?
You go to finish.